You may find yourself still working in a 9 to 5 and trying to work on your passion. Or some may they're working on their passion, but they don't know how to receive compensation from doing service work. So it's definitely a thin line. And when you go to our youth, our youth grow up thinking that, I can't make any money in the community. So the first thing they want to do is just hustle. How can I get money fast? Or how can I just go work my body, physically, work at a warehouse, work overnight, do what I got to do. But if we can show them, like, look, you can serve your community where you are right now. You can receive some government funding. You can receive grant writing. You can receive government contract. You can receive donations from your local business owners, the people who came before you, who went through a lot of that hard work that you're about to endure. And if you just say, hey, I care about this community. This is what I want to tackle while bringing my business. You can kill two birds with one stone.
Welcome to the Marketing for the Culture podcast, powered by the African American Marketing Association. Each week, we'll bring you an insightful conversation from some of the best experts in our industry on how to advance our career. Join the collective of Black marketers across the world, advancing their brand as we work towards creating a collaborative community.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is time once again for another edition of Marketing for the Culture podcast. I'm your host and podcast producer, CL Palmer, aka CZ Pod Gang. And today we have another special guest, another panelist and speaker from the Marketing for the Culture Summit this May 12th. If you've not already got your tickets, get them right now. Today on the podcast, I have Community Development Strategist, and probably a lot of y'all know him from Forbes The Culture. It is Mr. Rudy Simpson Jr. How you doing today?
I'm great, man. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Man, I appreciate you taking the time out, especially to be at the summit and, of course, doing this podcast. Man, it's a lot of things I could ask you about, man. But I guess before we get too deep into the weeds of things, I had Marquell Russell on. He was from Atlanta, and I played a little word association game. So I know I didn't say this beforehand, but I want to throw a couple words out there because there's some things about Atlanta that's just very special.
Definitely.
So the first word I'm going to throw out is lemon pepper.
Oh, man, you got to go with hot, bro. Hot lemon pepper for me. Wet all flats.
So you a wet lemon pepper wet person?
Yeah, hot lemon pepper.
See, now we got dueling philosophies because I'm of the belief that lemon pepper wet is not really a thing. But I think I'll make an exception when it's hot.
Yeah, I can eat lemon pepper by itself. That's probably my number 2. But my go-to is definitely hot lemon pepper.
Okay.
Gotta have it mixed together. No,
but that's the same answer I got. I guess that might be a go-to. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
That's what's up. All right. Now, the next word I'm going to throw out there, the varsity.
The varsity is one of those staples in Atlanta, I will say. If you grew up here, you've gone there at least 3 times as a child. On the summer camp field trip, the church trip, get your little hot dog and hamburger. But as you get older, you just kind of move into the mom and pop shops, restaurants to experience, I'll say. But varsity is definitely as one of those tourist attractions.
That was very political the way you just put that. You told that line very well. But yes, we all in agreement. The varsity is for the tourists. All right, next word I'm gonna throw out with you now. This is real ATL, Greenbrier.
Man, listen, I go to Greenbrier, bro, for my oils. I be getting my oils. I'm not even gonna say the name I get because I don't want people smelling like me. But shout out to Greenbrier, man, and then shout out, We Buy Black. That's what We Buy Black for all those who are familiar. We Buy Black, one of the largest e-commerce platform for Black-owned businesses. They actually started right there in the heart of Greenbrier, with pushing their brand and just promoting Black business and just the importance of bringing economic dignity. So Greenbrier is a real, it's one of those places where it's a food desert out in that area, this side of the west side. So to be able to impact it, I encourage all philanthropists to really dive into it. So that's what when I hear Greenbrier, that's all I think of. my oils, and just black business.
And you know what? That's probably Greenbrier in a nutshell. Like, I think about oils, beads,
hmm
incense, and a lot of different black businesses. Yeah, that's on point right there, man. All right, so the last one, and then we're gonna make a transition on it, is Hartsfield Jackson Airport.
Ooh, definitely the busiest, the busiest airport. But I've actually been involved. I was involved with Hartsfield my entire life. I just turned 30, but I started working at Hartsfield Jackson when I was 17. I worked for 3 different airlines. I worked with AirTran. Then when they got bought out, I was with Southwest, and then transitioned into work with Delta. I recently just left when the pandemic started. They gave a severance package for those who just kind of wanted to be at home. But I was with Delta almost 7 years. So, man, that commute down Camp Creek, man, trying to jump on flights and you don't leave your car out front too long because you will get a ticket.
Right.
But inside, I'm talking, it's definitely a beautiful vibe, man. Beautiful people. You're able to see people from all over the world come to connect through Hartsfield Jackson. So I was able to, endure my entire adult life, I feel, throughout my 20s at Hartsfield Jackson.
Okay, so that brings me to kind of where I wanted to start, which is I just noticed going through your LinkedIn that you were still there, like you said, in 2020, while you were doing some of these other great things in the community and even getting to look at Forbes. And for me, there was only one thing I could think of. It's like, there's of course the benefits.
Right.
But I feel like you were sticking around for them flights, man.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm not Delta. All these companies are great companies, but that's one benefit and perk that I feel like everybody would want. and being in a company like that, of course, you learn so much within the operation. You're able to see, luggage and mail and just other dynamics of just how billion-dollar companies operate. But when you see that something that's like a real necessity within life, and just like you're able to also see like the humanitarian approach to it too, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to see their families, a lot of goods wouldn't be able to get across the world. So I was able to, I feel like, leverage a lot of that standard of excellence working at a company like that and try to bring it over to what my goals were. So, working a 9 to 5 at that level of a 9 to 5, some could just go there and just, hey man, I'm just gonna fly, I'm just gonna make my money. But I was saying, how can I be, take it to the next level, be an overachiever?
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about some travel, but that's a very interesting aspect of working at a company. Is like you said, you get to know those workings, and you're able to take some of those principles
Right.
and way of doing things and apply it to your own business. So tell me, what's one of the biggest takeaways that you were able to transfer into your private business?
Man, great question, man. Probably, I definitely would start off with just work ethic and professionalism. I feel like those go hand in hand. Like you could have a hard work ethic, but it can be put toward probably the wrong components. Like if you're working hard, you may be working hard at the wrong things, or you could be doing it with a bad attitude. I feel like working in an environment like that, the way it was set up, it was based off seniority. So you're working with guys and gals who've been working in that space for probably 30, 40, 50 years, right? And you're up here like, man, you start off like, I ain't going to be here this long, But as you grow, you see how they're able to, allow the core value of the company and what it does and provides, and take it for yourself. So I was able to learn, from just older men, coming to work with lunch and the importance of that, not going up to Chick-fil-A every day, spending your whole check, just little things at a young age, or, the importance of being on time, the importance of having good relationships with a supervisor, because they'll look out for you if you're running late, or if you, had a hiccup at work, you may have hit something. You may, I'm not saying run into an airplane, but you get where I'm going. Like, if you have a good attitude, a good standard of professionalism for yourself, um, you'll last basically, and you'll be able to take care of your family. So I feel like being able to be exposed to that level of excellence, I was able to transfer it into my own personal life of working to be an entrepreneur, and just being able to see how what I work hard at this job. I need to be able to to replicate these same practices in what I'm doing, and if I ever get into a leadership role, I want to be able to conduct communication, or just even counsel whoever I'm working with the way I'm receiving at this this job that I'm at.
Okay, I could definitely dig that, man, because I know there are some jobs that I worked at where, like, I could tell, like, I never want my company to be like this.
Right.
Like, this is terrible. And then, you figure out, like, well, they were about to sell the company, and that's why things were like that. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, I get it. And it's like you kind of pick up on those certain things. But yeah, like doing leadership and like you said, just that attention to detail, that stuff is super important,
Man, it helps,
across business and personal life.
Right.
And yeah, man, it usually does take you to work at a certain job to pick some of that stuff up, man.
Right.
So, all right, let's move into what you do right now. So I want to talk about your company, and as far as like your role. So you call yourself a community development strategist.
Right.
And to some of us in the circle, well, that's just a consultant.
Right.
But I want you to tell the people, or what do you tell people when you meet them? What do you do?
Yeah, so I definitely lead off with my niche or my focus within the trade of consulting with community development, and the main focus of being strategy, because there are a lot of skill sets that could come within that space, but I'm mainly focused within the project management, and then I leverage my other resources within my network to provide certain solutions for whoever I'm working with. But as far as like operational assistance, department build out, and just helping organizations or just individuals within private enterprise, I want to be able to help position them in a more philanthropic way than whatever they're trying to market their company to do, or even themselves. So when it comes to community development, I like to focus on certain components of the community, or like what I like to call pillars. Like education, economics, you have leadership, we have culture, we have a lot of components that our community thrives off of. But, if you're a business owner and you're looking to scale your business and you want to have a more, let's just say a more intimate connection with your audience, some may want to get involved with foundational work, but they may not know how to go about, 501c3 process. Or some may have a 501c3, but they may not know how to acquire more volunteers. So I'm able to come in and, not only bring you resources to assist you, but I can help you basically bring that plan to finality. So that's really just what I do in a nutshell. I just want to stay in this, it's like a spiritual walk of service. Definitely when you're working in this space with people who have impactful ideas, impactful initiatives. But if within, the community, there's a lot of people who have great ideas. They just don't even know how to get them off the ground, or just how to keep them running. Because sometimes working in this space, you may find yourself still working in a 9-to-5 and trying to work on your passion. Or some they're working on their passion, but they don't know how to receive compensation from doing service work. So it's definitely a thin line. And when you go to our youth, our youth grow up thinking that, I can't make any money in the community. So the first thing they want to do is just hustle. How can I get money fast? Or how can I just go work my body, physically, work at a warehouse, work overnight, do what I got to do. But if we can show them, like, look, you can serve your community where you are right now. You can receive some government funding. You can receive grant money. You can receive government contracts. You can receive donations from your local business owners, the people who came before you, who went through a lot of that hard work that you're about to endure. And if you just say, hey, I care about this community. This is what I want to tackle while bringing my business. You can kill two birds with one stone. You can partner with business owners who can mentor you, all while still being able to help impact you guys' community at the same time. So that's just, a little perspective that I try to shift within the mindset of our youth. But as you grow, you kind of find out that, adults are the same. A lot of us just either missed it growing up, or, we were grinding and we were like, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. And we look up, you 30 some years old, you 40 some years old, it's just like, dang, back to the drawing board. So I just want to be able to, provide just a great service in that capacity, for all ages.
Okay, man, that's dope, because that is a mindset that we don't often get, uh, especially at an early age, where we tell people like there's actually real value in service, and not in just to the people that are getting the service. Like, this is also something good for the person who is actually giving it. And that is very much overlooked, because I mean, it's a lot of good to be out here done in the world, like you said, man. Just give to those grants and all that different paperwork. I think some people just sometimes they can get a little intimidated about how much work that actually takes.
Definitely.
I actually have one of my clients who runs a nonprofit, and trying to keep track of everything you spend and making sure this money is in the right place. Like, it could definitely be something, man. So I could see why people would want to call you. So tell me, do you ever come across things, and I hate to say this because I don't like to be limiting when it comes to mindset, but have you ever come across something where you felt like it may be too ambitious and they might need to scale back, or it might not just be feasible?
Oh, definitely, man, definitely. So, I've worked in a lot of spaces with like volunteer coordinating, right? And this could be for small events, it could be for conferences. So, I've been able to assist with getting 10 volunteers. I've been able to assist with getting 100 volunteers. And just depending on like the scale of work, whatever is needed, whatever organizations you need to partner with to like outsource certain labor, just kind of cut costs with certain things. So I've definitely come across those who may say, I want to make this event here. I want to have, this, that, the third. But, I'll ask questions like, okay, how many, what is the attendance? Like, how many people are you expecting, right? Or, okay, how big is the venue? I ask these type of questions. And once I get those answers, I start I'm able to then say, well, you know what, you may not want to promote this as a conference, if it's going to be, within like a classroom type setting, you may want to say summit, you may want to say workshop, so I feel like it's even the vocabulary within the language of what we're marketing to our audience. We don't want to, have them thinking they're coming to like a conference, style, if you only plan on it being like a 1-day event, 2-day event, so just being able to just shift that mindset, I feel is kind of what I've seen, just common with them like throwing those type of events. But other, more, I guess, complex situations could just be just the scaling of one's business, like their goals, monetary goals. Hey, we want to raise $1 million next year, but you just started. You haven't even got your budget to a place where you even know like the milestones of what you want to be able to accomplish. So I try to help them reverse engineer and turn a 1-year plan to a 5-year plan to a 10-year plan, and just really saying like, okay, what can $1 million purchase? Because if you want to, impact this large district, you may have to include the first 2 years within this small portion of the district, and it may have to start at just a school or an orphanage or, things of that nature before you say, we want to get to where we're at 10 million, 100 million. So it's like, okay, now you have to get some, some good partners, some credible donors. You have to make yourself appealing to these, to this market to where you can achieve that level of funding. So I try to make sure I'm just like keeping it real, being straightforward, and just letting everybody know, like, you want to, always be aware of the risk, and that help. When I present that, it makes it calms everybody within the situation because you don't want to go. It's okay to be optimistic, But you gotta be real. You don't want to keep your hopes up.
Right, right. Yeah, that's real because I know we want to do so much good.
Right.
And we want to do it right now. And we want it to affect everyone. And
We don't save the world. You can't save everyone. Everyone can't be saved.
it just can't happen, man. So,
but there's a quote I live by. I know there's a quote I live by, and I read it in a book a while back. It said, "Change cannot be forced; it can only be inspired." So I feel like when you approach your work in that energy, it'll help you give more of your heart into the work instead of trying to convince or force or any value of what you are trying to put out here. So I feel like if you just do your work, do your best, it'll inspire and go far.
Those are good words right there, and I believe those to be true because, like you said, what you're usually doing when you're speaking on something is you're inspiring somebody to think different. Right. You're not actually changing their mind or anything like this. You're making them feel something, and that's what's going to cause the change. So put that one on the wall. Like I wish I had a sound effect for that, but that's definitely a gem. All right, Rudy, I want to talk about Forbes The Culture. So, man, I don't know, man. Just tell me how'd you get involved with that project or that? I hate to call it a project, but I say that initiative. Let me say that.
Well, yeah, man. So it was probably about end of 2018. It was a conference. It was like October. There was a conference in Boston. It was a 30 under 30 conference, and the year prior, they had another conference. But the founder of the network, he had just kind of noticed that people of color wasn't really represented a lot within the conference in certain areas, or he may not have seen that many there present at the first conference that was the year before. So he had put out a message, just a group chat to like a few friends, probably like a handful of friends, like, hey, let's just meet up for lunch or around at late the afternoon at a restaurant, just kind of talk about it. And he said when he sent the message out, he sent it to his friends, but come time for the dinner, like 200-300 people showed up. So picture like 300 people showing up to a restaurant. So they had a great conversation. It was like great networking at that point. All of these beautiful, black people of color, black excellence here in one place, just talking about the same thing. So it was more so it came out of a need. So, from that moment, things were put in place, group chats, things of that nature. And then coming into 2018, that's when I was introduced to it. I was able to connect with the orchestrators of it. Shout out to the FTC leadership. And going into 2019, I was able to be appointed as a lead. And then that July, we actually became an official organization with Forbes. So, we're still an infant organization, but we're just created, just for, it was created just to mainly, create a platform for our people, just, surrounding around collectivism, and it's creating, just equitable professional pathways. So, you may have people who may not get certain opportunities in certain sectors, whether it be based off of location. You may not know this individual. You may just can't get through that door. But through this network, you're just one call away. You're one chat away, one follow away. And it's a lot of self-made entrepreneurs within it. You have a lot of people who are within their early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, who have all succeeded in different strides of business and who are, just looking to get in a position where they can teach, share. And there are a lot of teachable individuals as well who are who want to be coached, who want to be mentored. So I feel like it's just a space where, people within our community, the Black community specifically, can grow and really just kind of see the change that we've been wanting to see for a long time.
Gotcha. Man, that's dope. The fact that y'all was, it was so organic in the beginning.
Yeah, man.
You don't see that a lot.
Right.
It's usually somebody, in a boardroom making a decision, and then the decision goes out, and then you start getting recruiting. But for this to just come together with just like with a group chat,
bro. And then think about it, like even this is what we say even within our mission. Like it was created out of social necessity for equity. So it's just one of those things. Like the way the economy is set up socially, it was bound to happen. And with this, it's a member, like driven organization. So, we have chapter leads, we have, members who are able to provide their feedback to the leadership and provide, input and value of how it can scale, compared to, it being set up like a more corporate structure. You do what we say. So I feel like it's going to help it grow even rapidly, because if you got so many dope people in one space, it's only bound for success.
Absolutely. You get that positive energy going in one direction, it just keep going. You can't stop it.
Right.
It's the laws of the universe. I didn't make them up. But man, that's dope, Rudy. Tell me, I guess like you're the ATL chapter leader. So what? Right. I guess what does your position entail?
Oh yeah, great question. So when it comes to just being a chapter lead, and then I have my co-lead, we're both co-leads here, Gina, shout out to Gina. We just carry out the initiatives of what Forbes is looking to accomplish. So we recently was able to put together our manifesto for this year. And, we're looking to, introduce certain things like HBCU leads. So we want to have, HBCU to have their own leads to, carry out certain initiatives. Or we're looking to see how we can get more involved with civic engagement, working with other, organizations in the community, but even not just within the community, working in, in the entertainment space. How can we create more, entertaining events just for our members, for those who are able to come into the space? How can they network more? How can they network better? How can we create that channel of communication to where they can get to one another quicker, right? Because like I said, we were just created not too long, just a few years back. So now is at this point, it's how can we replicate what's working from other cities? Because a lot of the times, if you look at our community, just in general, a lot of us are going through the same things in a sense, some in different time zones, but a lot of the issues are the same. And I feel like, we have people who are attacking these, these issues, but we have to be able to teach one another about, what works. So, with me being able to be close to the community here in Atlanta, I want to be able to see how we can galvanize our community with the business owners here locally, those who work in education, those who are in sport, entertainment, it doesn't matter the field, but just seeing how the Atlanta chapter can come together so we can leverage, the platform of Forbes and, highlight certain individuals who are trailblazing, in whatever sector that they may be, but not just, leveraging the Forbes platform, to get them recognized, but to see how we can learn from one another, like I was saying, who are thriving within this space of business all around the world. Because Atlanta got a lot of great people here, man, who are really killing it. And I feel like what we have in Atlanta, they're trying to build out, in a Philadelphia in some capacity. They're trying to build out even in Africa, and vice versa, So I feel like that's really one of the things as the leads that we're trying to accomplish, like trying to push this mission forward, bring unity amongst business owners within the space of the Black community, and just seeing how we can really just shrink that wealth gap, man. I feel like that's really what it's really all about.
Bro, you ain't lying. I'm trying to close the whole wealth gap by myself. Right. Every day doing that hustling we was talking about earlier. But man, like that sounds like something that a lot of people should get involved in. So I'm a business owner myself. There's a bunch of people around me. They're doing stuff. They're pushing in a certain direction, and we feel like it'd probably be a good fit for us to get involved. So how would we go about getting involved?
Oh man, great question, man. So we're actually, right now, like I said, we recently received our manifesto. So I've been having meetings with business owners, just kind of, let them know about who Forbes The Culture is, just like how we're doing. And even just getting them connected with our members, just trying to get our members, on a good space of communication so that we can know what's going on out here in Atlanta. because I feel like that's the first thing that's most important is introducing oneself. Um, because if you think about it, there's if I don't want to say clicked up, but you have a lot of different groups around the city who are doing well, and I feel that everyone may not be gifted at teaching how they do good. Everyone's not a consultant. Everyone's not doing workshops and master classes, right? Trying to teach everybody what they're doing. But everyone is networking in some capacity. So I feel like those who are, doing well within the city, if we can come together, I feel like we'll be able to see, more impact. There's a lot of things that's going as impactful, but we can have more of it going on together. And it won't be where, oh man, that side of town is killing it over there. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder how they're getting it done, and it'll actually be where like we actually see like what's like who's doing it and know it before it comes out. So I feel like that's done in a lot of ways. There are a lot of great groups and great organizations out here who are who are working together, thriving together. But for the next generation coming up, we have to be able to show them how to do the exact same. These 14-year-old children, these 22-year-olds. We want to be able to connect with them and say, hey guys, this is how you combine and conquer. This is how you this is what group economics looks like. Because I feel like that's what the organizational mindset of creating membership-based communities does. It's all group economics. Everyone's coming together to affect their community. So I feel like if all those who hear this, who hear about Forbes the Culture, like that's what we're about. Like we want to be able to connect with with great minds, those who are looking to impact their community, galvanize their community, and just change the precedent, man, for the next 400 years. Because I feel like we kind of know our history in the past. It's just kind of now like what's next. And I feel like the best way for us to see what that future look like is if we affect our present. That's the best way we'll be able to see the future.
Okay. So I take it there's not like a Google form that people can go to right now.
Well, if you you can definitely go to Forbes.com. Google Forbes the Culture. Go to ForbesTheCulture.com. You can apply. You can check out our articles, things of that nature. But I was just more so saying when it comes to working with the chapter leads specifically, because you can't connect with me through the Forbes.com. You would just have to come to me directly. But I'm open to work with everyone, talk to everyone, see how we can basically build together. Because it's not just about what we do here at Forbes. It's about what everyone does, and and the only way Forbes can make it is if we all able to work together.
Okay, so somebody got to come out here and do some real networking. Come hit up Rudy, or anybody. I guess depending on where you at.
Right. If you ever come to Atlanta, say, hey, where's that Rudy guy?
Tap in.
Come tap in. But for those who are interested in becoming members, you can definitely go to ForbesTheCulture.com. You can Google us. We're on Forbes.com. And you can apply there and just check us out.
Okay. All right, man. I'm actually have to do that myself because not talking with you, I definitely feel like this is something that I want to be a part of myself because it's some things that I feel like I could probably bring to the table and teach, and it will motivate me to do so because waiting on me to do it, it might happen, it might not. So, maybe some accountability might help.
Oh yeah, man. That's all you need, man. Accountability. And I feel like when you're a part of any network of high performing individuals, a lot of that time, just like our first conversation, just that standard of excellence. When you're a part of a standard, even like whether you grew up in a household with strict parents, you go to school, that standard that your parents put on you, like, hey, this is what we expect of you, this, that, and the third. So a lot of the time, I feel like just that camaraderie is a great accountability partner. Just being knowing that you're a part of something that wants you to succeed.
I want everybody out there to succeed, and
right.
we trying to grow it out here. So I appreciate them words, and I hope everybody's really soaking that in because right now I feel like even though it's it's co-signed by Forbes. It still seems to be like at the ground level, so
Yeah,
it's still kind of building. So
yeah.
if you want to be a part of something early, it's another chance. You ain't got to jump into NFTs and all that. You can just kind of get with a movement, and then you might get the guidance you need.
Right.
But speaking of that, because we have this marketing for the culture summit coming up. We will be talking some metaverse and Web 3.0 there. But for you, that's not what your specialty is. You're going to be on one of our panels. So what can people expect from you at the Marketing for the Culture Summit?
Oh man, I'm really all about service. I feel like that's where my heart is, and just serving, and whether it be spiritually or just peer to peer. So I want to be able to just show the business side of what the service looks within the business side of things, because I feel like all of us, no matter what component of business you work in, marketing, accounting, finance, sales, it doesn't matter, the digital aspect, tech, it's like we're all serving something, whether you're serving your customers, whether you're serving the market, the business place. I feel like we're serving, and in any of it, you have to do it at a high level. Um, so I feel like if at the panel, based off of whatever the conversations are, I definitely will be able to just provide some experience, whether it be specifically in certain, like how great question that you provided today, just specific situations, or whether it be some futuristic thought, where do I see things going. I definitely have an opinion about that. But as far as just the aspects of the heart of the business owner, I feel like that's what I was able to connect with within my journey as a business owner. 'Cause like I said, being able to work a 9 to 5, all while doing your business and things of that nature. I feel like that's something that people downplay, but there's so much beauty in that story. Because at the end of the day, for those who are parents, the child, they don't see any of that. They just see you serving them and taking care of them. So I feel like if we're able to just like how we call our work our baby, like we shouldn't get down on ourselves. Like, your work loves you, your work appreciates you doing it. Your work sees you get up early. Your work sees you like, hey, I'm rushing, but I know I'm gonna do it. So like, just know that your work loves you, and that if you don't feel like you're serving anyone the right way, just know that you're serving your purpose the right way. You're serving your passion the right way, and just keep going, and let that drive you. Let that drive you to just keep serving.
Man, I love all that, man. I love that mindset, that mentality. Just letting people know that there's a lot that they are accomplishing, even in them small moments when it seems like nobody's really showing up and patting you on the back, but
Right.
There is some appreciation in that. So I can't wait to see how everything goes at the summit, because that's going to be a very balanced panel, because I'm sure not everybody has that same mentality, but they're gonna bring some similar energy. They're gonna be able to relate. But that type of balance, I think it'll be very much appreciated, man.
Right. Yeah, real wholesome. Keep, I want to, like you said, I may not be versed within the metaverse, but I'm versed in some aspects that I feel like business is it's a broad word. It's a lot of business. You got good business, you got great business, you got bad business. So I feel like if we can all just come with that in mind, that we're even serving those listeners at this conference. I feel like it'll be a great experience for everyone.
Okay, let me get you out of here on this. I did a little Instagram stalking, and I seen you were with your little man at a Hawks game.
Oh yeah, man.
So you big on basketball?
Yeah, man. My son, he started like, I think 2 years ago, and he went from always asking for toys, always asking for a video game. Now all he do is play 2K and shoot on the basketball goal outside. And I'm just like, boy, you dedicated.
Man, that sounds like my son. How old is your son?
7. He'll be 8 this year.
Okay, so my son's like 11, and he's pretty much the same way, except he just can't let the Fortnite go. I'm like, it's like get on the 2K a little bit harder. Like you'll feel something a little different. But that's a whole nother battle, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. My son, he learned all the players' names from 2K. He on Netflix the other week, he had the Last Dance documentary going on, just playing. I was like, what you here watching? And then he was just like, I want a Scottie Pippen haircut. And I was
man.
Pippen, you want a haircut like Pippen? I said, all right, I gave him one too. Gave him a little fade.
Yo, that's ill. Man, I wish I would catch my kids watching a 30 for 30. Man, I might shed a tear. I ain't even gonna lie.
I felt the dudes in there, they were talking about the franchise, and I was listening, and I'm just like, franchise owner? I was like, he just sitting there watching, like, I'm like, bro, you don't understand what they talking about. He just waiting for them to play and show the highlights.
Just show the highlights, man. But just that, bro, that's beautiful, man. But Rudy, man, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Appreciate you being generous with your time. Tell the people where to find you.
Hey, man, you guys can find me at Rudy Simpson Jr. on all platforms. That's RUDY SIMPSON JR. Even at my website, RudySimpsonJr.com. I have a lot of great things coming to you guys this summer, this year. And, you know, like we were talking about, you know, it's all about collectivism, you know, unity, seeing how we can come together. That's the main reason I work in community development. There are a lot of components within our community that need our help. So, you know, whether, you know, you're just getting started or you've been, you know, you're seasoned within whatever you're doing, your value is needed. And the best way we can get going is if we just have a conversation and just, you know, plug the puzzle pieces in, you know, plug and play. So, you know, that's really all I got. Check me out. Like I said, Rudy Simpson Jr., all platforms. I look forward to working with you guys.
Absolutely. And everybody out there want to tap in, please hit up Rudy and let him know how much you appreciate what he's doing in the community out here for us, for the culture. And, man, shout out to all the juniors. You know, I'm the second. Well, I'm a junior. You know, shout out to Sammy Davis Jr., Victor Moan Jr., all the juniors, man. We out here, man.
We out here repping for that. We're repping our pops, man. Well,
absolutely, man.
Too, man. Shout out to you, man. Great show, great host, killing it.
I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate everybody out there listening and watching. This is Marketing for the Culture. I'm the host, CL Palmer, a.k.a. CZ Pod Gang, and we out here. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Marketing for the Culture podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe, whether it's on Apple, Google, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. And of course, our videos are on YouTube. If you have a moment, feel free to give us a rate, review, or just comment. We appreciate our sponsors for their continuous support. Also, if you're interested in learning more about our sponsors or becoming a member of the African American Marketing Association, visit aa-ma.org.